Previously on Failproof Kitchen.
Today we're going to be going over the do's and don'ts of purchasing produce. I feel like I'm a good person and then I get mad when I drive.
You pots and pans as possible.
Sorry.
The best way to pick your avocado, you gotta feel it up. So
We got kicked out. Hey y'all, welcome to Failproof Kitchen. I'm Jenna Fail.
And I'm Chef Robbie Jester, winner of Pressure Cooker on Netflix, Beat Bobby Flay, and Guy's Grocery Games. Today, we are going to make a famous crab cake recipe. It's gonna be gluten-free, and we're gonna swap out a few of the ingredients to make this a more healthful version. I'm super excited. I'm a Maryland boy at heart. I grew up in Maryland, so crab cakes are our thing. The first thing I want to talk about though is crab meat. You want to buy fresh crab meat whenever it's in season, whenever you can, and you'll have to pick some shells out of it. Like that's just a part of the process of buying like fresh crab meat. If you can't, it's not available to you. Pasteurized crab meat is completely fine, especially for recipes like this. You want to buy pasteurized crab meat that is actual blue crab meat, and what that means is you don't want to buy Chinese pasteurized crab meat because it's actually a completely different crab than what we associate with like crab cakes. So you want to buy, you know, basically from anywhere else in the world just because it's a different species of crab. So we're gonna start by making our sauce for our crab cakes. Now, my little hack is I make the sauce for the crab cake, I add a few things extra to it, and it ends up being my sauce to serve with the crab cakes as well. So it's in the crab as well as it's on the crab. So we have a little bit of Greek yogurt. Now traditionally this would be made with mayonnaise, but for this recipe we're gonna do it with a little bit of Greek yogurt, and we're gonna measure with love. I learned that from you.
We measure with our hearts here in South Carolina, y'all.
So you wanna do like a spatula and a half of Greek yogurt.
Is that one?
Yep. Awesome. So we're gonna take some Dijon mustard. So you're gonna go ahead and do one of those spoons, which is about a tablespoon size of Dijon mustard. We're also gonna add a little bit of dry mustard, just a couple pinches there. They both add different characters to this. I like the dry mustard. It actually acts as like a binder in there as well. Once we have our mustard in, then we're gonna start to add our seasonings. So we have our seafood seasoning, Old Bay.
I was gonna say it.
Representing with the Old Bay. You wanna start small, you can always add more, but you can never take it out. So you wanna go ahead and mix that for me?
Absolutely.
So basically the flavors in Old Bay are gonna be garlic, they're gonna be onion, and they're gonna be celery seed. I think that it's celery seed forward, but we're gonna punch up our onion and our garlic flavor. So we're gonna add a little bit of granulated onion here. We're gonna add some garlic powder. And that's gonna punch up our garlic and our onion flavors in there. Now we're actually, so it's starting to look like a crab cake looks. So we actually have some, you could use chives. We're gonna use a little bit of green onion here to add some color and texture to that. A few shakes of Worcestershire or Worcestershire.
We call it rooster juice.
A little bit of rooster juice on there, however you wanna say it, we don't judge. A little tiny squeeze of lemon.
This already smells so good. Just those flavors together.
Because we're seasoning with love, we want to give it a little taste too. So it's pretty good. I think it needs a little bit more Old Bay.
Very good. There's like a spice in there. It's the mustard.
Yep, it's the different mustards, yep. And a little bit of salt.
Oh, that's really good. You wouldn't know that's Greek yogurt.
Like once you add all the stuff in there, it doesn't even really taste like mayonnaise anymore. And it's just there as like a saucy binder for this.
How's that?
I think we're there. So
we are.
We have our beautiful lump crab meat here. We're gonna take and put about half of it in there and just break it up slightly. I know that's like blasphemous in Maryland, but we wanna have some of this stuff that sticks. So we're gonna break it up slightly, and then the rest is gonna go in just as whole lumps. Now, we wanna add some of our sauce in here. So you're also gonna add, before we do that, we're gonna add 1 egg. So 1 egg per pound of crab meat. We're making a full pound here. So we're gonna crack our egg in there.
How much of the sauce?
Let's just do 1 nice full spatula. And then we're gonna kind of break up our egg a little bit, and then we're just gonna fold this together. We're making sure that we're incorporating it, but without just completely obliterating, busting everything up. Now, it's gonna look super loose, right? It looks super loose right there. So this is a trick from my dad's restaurant back in the day. We've been doing this since I was 12 years old, and this makes the crab cakes gluten-free. So what we're gonna do, instead of a traditional like Ritz cracker, breadcrumbs, stuff like that, what we're gonna add right now is actually dehydrated mashed potato flakes, so like instant mashed potatoes. So we're gonna sprinkle those in there, kind of cover the surface area a little bit. We're gonna give it a fold.
So that's an important thing too, folding it. You're not.
Yes, I'm folding it. I'm just kind of letting it fall onto itself. I'm not pressing down. I'm not really getting in there. I want to just bring it all together. I want to have just enough to bring it together. So I can tell that it's still a little bit loose. Now the mashed potato flakes is one thing that you're going to have to let it sit for a little while because they need to hydrate. If you just try to go from here into the skillet, into the oven, then it's not going to work for you. But if you give these a good 5-10 minutes to set up, and you can kind of test it a little bit. Like it's still gonna be a little bit loose, but if you put some in your hand like this, and you can form a cake, and it's not too sloppy, like we're like almost there, then we're getting to the right consistency. So we're gonna give this probably 5 to 8 minutes to kind of hydrate, really like even out those mashed potatoes. Then we're gonna go to the pan. We're gonna start searing our crab cakes. All right, so now that our crab cake has had a chance to set up a little bit, now we're gonna like form our patties, and then we're gonna sear them in a saute pan. So I like a pan fried or a seared crab cake versus like deep fried or anything like that. You also could take this recipe and just ice cream scoop them. Like a lunch lady ice cream scoop of mashed potatoes. You could do that and just bake them in the oven, and they would come out perfectly fine just like that. So it is a simple way. We're just gonna kind of show you the way that I did them on the show before. So Jenna, I'm gonna have you do this. Take crab cake mix in the palm of your hand, cup it. You want a closed cup, and that's gonna be roughly about 3 ounces.
Okay.
It works pretty much for everybody. And then we're just gonna flatten them just a little bit.
Okay.
And then like size them up a little bit like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna build those crab cakes for me. So while Jenna is shaping our crab cakes, we're gonna go ahead and start to sear them. So I have a little bit of olive oil here. I have a very hot non-stick pan. And we're gonna take our crab cakes and we're just gonna put them in the oil spot and then slide them to the outside. You don't wanna press them down or anything like that. You wanna make sure that they still have some texture and some shape to them.
These are holding very well. Like earlier you did the little sample and it was kind of falling apart a little bit.
Yep.
That difference in time really.
Yeah, just that little bit of time takes those instant mashed potatoes. They just bind right up and it pulls it all together. But it also pulls it all together in a way that it's not like you have this crunchy, crispy, like pieces of bread throughout. I think we've all had crab cakes in our life. If we've eaten crab cakes and you're a fan, that have been more like a bread cake than a crab cake.
Robbie's reshaping my crab cake. It's fine. It's fine.
He didn't do
no
a bad
pressure
job.
or anything. I'm like stressing out right now. These are a big deal, these crab cakes.
It's not a protein ball, Jenna.
Oh,
it's a crab
that's
cake.
where my mind is.
All right, so we're gonna clean things up and then we're gonna talk about some variations to our sauce. All right, so we cleaned up our act a little bit. Now we're gonna talk about some variations on sauce for these. We're gonna get them flipped over. We're gonna get them in the oven to finish. But first of all, so we're gonna serve these with like a tartar sauce. Now I mentioned earlier that we're gonna take the sauce that we use to make the crab cakes. So we have the rest of that sauce here, minus the egg. That's why I put the egg in with the crab meat and not in the sauces so we can use it again. So a tartar sauce is basically a mayonnaise-based sauce that has some sort of pickle relish, some seasonings and things like that. So we have our non-mayonnaise, our Greek yogurt sauce here with the seasonings, but we're missing that relish sort of component. So I asked you if you had any relish or pickles. You don't, but you have pepperoncinis, which is a pickled pepper. It's sweet, got a little bit of spice to it, but I think it would be awesome in our sauce.
Perfect.
So you want to grab like 4 or 5 little pieces of that.
Okay.
And then you can show them your knife skills.
Oh, I was going to grab the scissors.
So we could do that.
I could just go in like that.
Or we can chop them on the board and show what we've been learning. So on the crab cakes, I am using a pair of tongs here. If you've made them the right way, you should be able to flip them without breaking them. So we have that nice brown color there. Beautiful. And we're gonna mince just like that. It's actually pretty good. And then make sure when you like tighten it back up that you kind of turn them so you can get, you can get it from both sides. I'm gonna chop our pepperoncinis up just like that while I flip the rest of these crab cakes.
Look at that. Now that is way better than yesterday.
Boom. Getting better every single day. So now we have beautiful crab cakes. You can see the nice golden brown there. And we're actually gonna take these, we're gonna place them in a 425-degree oven for about 5 minutes, and that should cook them through. Now, with our sauce, we're gonna take our pepperoncinis, we're gonna mix them in there, yep. And if the knife's we're not gonna do that.
Do what?
We're not gonna knock the knife blade on the side of the bowl. We're gonna just do this.
I didn't know.
We're gonna mix that up. We're gonna give it a taste.
So just that simple addition.
Simple little addition is gonna give this more of a tartar sauce kind of vibe. Add a little tiny bit of that pepperoncini juice in there.
Good. I just would never guess that's Greek yogurt.
Yep.
You don't miss the mayonnaise and it's just all those calories and fat.
Yep.
You know, a little protein boost.
I just want it to taste a little bit more like the peppers. So we're going in there with a little more pepperoncini juice. It's delicious. Now, we just have to wait a few more minutes. We'll have our crab cakes. All right, so with a little video magic, we're getting ready to pull our crab cakes out of our oven right now. Again, the oven was at 450 at convection. Chefs like to use convection because it's gonna keep the heat consistent throughout the oven, no matter what you put in or take out. It's gonna continuously pump the heat around. We're gonna grab our crab cakes. So they are nice golden brown, and I want you to pay attention. Like Jenna, you see right here where it's like set. It's not glossy or anything like that. It's definitely a cooked crab cake. So we're gonna let them cool for just a second, and we're gonna get ready to plate. Now we have our beautiful plate here, and I'm gonna teach you a little move, a little chefy move. We call it the swoosh. We're gonna do 3 of them, so I'm gonna do a big one in the center. So you're gonna put your sauce down right here, and then drag. So we're gonna do one here and one here. You're next.
I have a feeling this is a little harder than it looks.
Boom.
Yeah?
Looks great. Looks like you could win a cooking competition. And not worst cooks in America.
Thank you for that.
So we're gonna take and do our crab cakes now. Gonna go right on the platter with them. And we're gonna kinda go around the sauce. So we wanna show those swooshes. We just, you know, showed our guests how talented we are with our swoosh. Man, these look great.
They do look good. Very impressive.
And we're gonna take and garnish with a little bit of our chopped scallions. And then we'll throw a little piece of lemon on here just in case our guests, i.e. the camera crew, want to sprinkle a little bit of lemon on their crab cake plate. Wow. And here we go. The healthier version of my award-winning crab cakes. So now these are all plated up. I want you to give them a try.
Okay, let's give them a bite. Wow.
I really like the pepperoncini in that sauce.
Oh, that's good. I can see why.
You can see why?
I could see why. These are good.
If you want to see more reasons why, please like, follow, share.
And tap the bell for notifications, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Next time on Failproof Kitchen.
Today, I'm gonna be showing Chef Robbie how to make a no-bake protein treat. Healthy snacks don't have to be rice cakes, bland, nasty rice cakes. We're gonna have some fun in the kitchen and have some great flavors going on.
It's thick.
She's thick.
She's thick.
Damn! See, I feel like that one does, I see not a lot of chocolate chips on that one.
I'm so sorry, Chef. I'm so sorry.